What do you think about Harrington jackets? That's the question topic I'm going to be talking about today. Harrington jackets, I think, are great. I love them. I think they are fantastic. I think it's a great, casual, relaxed, and not in your face jacket that is really timeless. I think they're awesome. I have a couple myself. I have a red one and also a khaki one. The khaki one, you can't wear with khakis because if it matches the khakis, like your khaki chinos, if it matches your chinos with the exact same khaki color, you look like you're on a safari or you're a park ranger. It's generally not the vibe I'm going for. Might be a fine vibe, but I'm specifically not going for that generally. Well, the red goes just fine with khaki colored chinos. I'll wear the natural tan Harrington jacket with chinos that are a different color, that are drastically different color. For example, in the summer where I live, even in May and even early June, it's actually pretty cool at nights. So if I'm wearing green chinos or red chinos, sort of like go to hell pants thing, white Oxford on top and a khaki or the natural khaki tan color Harrington jacket looks great. And then if I'm wearing khakis or something neutral or like a stone color chino, the red Harrington jacket looks great on top of that. And so, yeah, I think they're great. I think that they are awesome. And I think that they occupy a really unique space that, in a certain sense, maybe this space specifically hasn't disappeared, but there have been certain spaces that have disappeared from our understanding of our wardrobe. And I'll try to explain what I'm talking about. For every day in your life, from when you're a baby until the day you die, there's different moments that require or would be best suited by different clothing. There's really formal events. There's different kinds of formal events. There's really relaxed events. There's different forms of relaxed events. When you're playing golf, it's a different form of being relaxed than just sitting on the beach, or being in your house or playing tennis. Like we've got golf shoes, and those golf shoes are not the same shoes we wear in any other event in our life. You just wear them when you're playing golf. You don't wear them when you're playing tennis. And so we have different, or we are supposed to, or we have had at an earlier time in our history, different items of clothing, apparel, accessories for different times and specific times in our life. Like the golf shoes are a really, really, really good example. And whether it's, a tux or a blazer or a sport coat or Bermuda shorts or chinos or pleated pants or corduroys or boat shoes or loafers, these are all suited for different times, not only different seasons, but also different events, different times, different places, different times in your life. And I think that across all of these places in our life, if we think about it like maybe like a house, you could think about it like a house. A house has got a ton of rooms, and each room has different things in it. They're all different rooms. It's kind of like we've just closed up a lot of these rooms. Like a lot of people will never own a sport coat. Many people never own a sport coat, or they'll never own a blazer or something like that. And that would have been unheard of 7 decades ago. Someone might not 7 decades ago, but it was a really common thing. And so we just kind of closed off a lot of these rooms. And I think that's something that the Harrington jacket fits. It fits in a very specific room. It fits in a room that isn't athleisure. You're not doing sport in this jacket, but it's also not a sport coat. It's not a blazer. It's not dressy, but it's also not something you wear camping either. You know, it's not something you would wear. You might wear it playing golf, I guess, but you wouldn't wear it playing tennis, I don't think. You wouldn't wear it camping, and you wouldn't wear it as a coat to complement a shirt and tie. It's too casual for that. It's in this unique space. It's not athleisure. It's not dressing up. It's in this casual, relaxed room in your house. And your house is all of the days of your life, more or less. And I think that earlier in our history, more of those rooms were, people had different things in those rooms. You know, they had different coats for different occasions, different shirts for different occasions, different shoes for different occasions, different everything for different occasions. And there was a specific purpose for all of them. And obviously there's also seasonal wear. You're not wearing seersucker in November, you know, even if it's hot. Like a good example, yesterday it was really warm here, and so I wore this summer sport coat. It's really weird because it was in like the 70s here, the low 70s, which is wild. I put all my summer sport coats away. I have other summer sport coats that have brighter colors, but it would be weird to wear that because it's November. So it's like, okay, I'm going to wear a summer sport coat because it's quite warm, but I'm going to really wear one that has these muted colors to still sort of keep this connection to fall. You know, things are dying. We're moving into winter. It isn't these bright madras and linen, you know, and I imagine wearing a seersucker thing in November. I mean, just be like, you could wear, I mean, that's cotton, you know, I could wear that because it was early 70s, but it's like, or high 70s, but it's not right. It's just not right. But the summer sport coat that I chose with the muted colors felt more appropriate for it. So seersuckers for a specific time, a specific season. Boat shoes are for, they're summer, you know? There's different things for different times. Go to hell pants. Those are summer. Those are not in winter, you know? Corduroy, even if it's cold, even if you have a really cold day in March, or let's say April, actually. Let's say April. You got a cold day in April. You're not going to wear corduroys. It's like, it's just weird. They don't fit at that time, you know? And so obviously there's all these there's like a kind of room that has to do with time, but then there's also these different rooms that have to do with event. And this brings us to this Harrington jacket where this event is relaxed, casual. You run out to the store. It's the weekend. You may be hanging out outside. You're maybe not in a city or in the town. You're outside somewhere. I don't want to say country because everybody has different versions of country. What is one person's country is someone's city, really. And what is some person's country is someone's, I didn't know this existed, you know. But it's not sport. You're not sweating, doing crazy amounts of physical labor. You're not camping in it. It's not a outdoorsman jacket or something like this. It's this casual jacket. It's a casual jacket that inhabits this very specific time in your life, and time or occasion, I should say. And, you know, you can see how outside of like our world where we're into this sort of style, you know, everything's just sort of been flattened out into hyper casual. Everything has been flattened out into a sort of, it's like t-shirt and sweatpants, t-shirt and jeans. A t-shirt is what you wear all the time. That's like your de facto go-to shirt that people wear. And it's all been sort of flattened out into that, you know, and all the rooms have been shut off except for this sort of really, really hyper casual room. And so I think that the Harrington jacket is a jacket that inhabits a specific room that I'm not even sure that you could say that, oh, well, we live in that room right now. You're like, well, everybody's really casual and the Harrington jacket is casual. Well, yes and no, because the way that people are casual is not in the way that they are, is not in the same way that the Harrington jacket is casual. They're casual in a very different way. And also a lot of clothes today is all like tainted by athleisure. You know, if you go to get a casual jacket somewhere, you're not thinking about it. You're not being intentional with your clothes, you're going to get something that is athleisure. There's going to be some athleisure influence. There's going to be some sort of weird material that is for sports or something, and you don't want that. And if the rest of what you're wearing doesn't match it, it's like, why is it all tainted by that? And so I really like that the Harrington jacket is not that, it's really not. And it pulls away from that, and it occupies this space that not a lot of things really occupy. And yeah, there are, of course, some things. I'm not saying that there's none that exist, but what I like about it is that it is a signal in a certain sense, or a reminder to me when I think about it, that, yeah, there's like these different times for these different jackets. There's different times for different things. Even like a raincoat. A raincoat's a good example. A lot of people don't even have raincoats today, because they're like, oh, I'll just wear this coat in the rain. It'll be fine, because it's an athleisure coat where it's designed for the rain, for this, or whatever. But the raincoat is like, when you're in the rain, it serves a specific purpose. And oftentimes the clothes that serve the specific purpose, the shoes that fit the specific purpose, they do it better than this sort of catch-all thing that is flattened out into everything. Not only do they do it better functionally, but they do it better in this sort of, there's a time and place for everything, And so I really like the Harrington jacket as a complement in a man's wardrobe who's into this sort of style, whether it's like trad, ivy, prep, whatever. I really like the Harrington jacket as a sort of complement for that wardrobe. It's opening that room. It's opening that room. It's like, you might have, I've got a lot of sport coats, I've got blazers, I've got all this stuff, but you might not have the kind of casual jacket that also fits in this right house, because it's different houses. Like, this is a specific house. It's sort of like trad, ivy, prep, and you could say different houses if you want to get very, very specific about everything, but it's a specific house, and there's different rooms that you can kind of open up and that you can find and that you can get into. And in my opinion, getting into all those rooms and sort of opening up those rooms and sort of filling those rooms with the right things in the right place is a really cool thing, because there's a time for everything. There's a time for winter, for summer, for spring, for everything. There's a time for the different clothes, and it's about intentionality. There's an intentionality to it. You're not just flattening out your wardrobe into one, into something that is just a utilitarian garment that works for everything. It's not like this, this is my utilitarian coat that I wear from October until April, then I take it off and I never wear a coat again. It's just really, it's so boring, I kind of think, and so I really like how the Harrington jacket represents that, and it inhabits this unique space, and it points, in my opinion, to the direction of this idea where you have all these rooms, and there's specific things for different things for specific times. I think it's a great jacket because it goes well with everything too. Well, not everything, but it goes well with a lot. It's like the OCBD, it can really, you can wear it with jeans, you can wear it with chinos that, you can wear it with chinos, you can wear it with shorts, it goes with a lot. I think it's great for that. I think that it's a cool jacket too. I mean, it's cool in this timeless way where it's actually a really unique jacket where it's actually quite old, but it doesn't feel that way. Even to people who are not into this style, this sort of thing, this sort of like whole world of style, it still doesn't even feel old for them, I don't think. I mean, it might, but I doubt it. I doubt it feels old for them. I don't think it feels old-timey for them. It feels, I just can't imagine how it would feel old-timey to them or something, or feel old, because, some people who might never, ever wear, like I said, wear a sport coat or wear anything like that, even if you wear a herringbone tweed, that might feel like, oh, that's really kind of old school or whatever. They might kind of get that association in their mind. I don't think they even feel that with a herringbone jacket, or sorry, Harrington herringbone jacket. Got herringbone on the brain. I don't think they'd feel that with a Harrington jacket. I can't imagine how they do. It's actually a cool jacket. It's really cool. And and it's older, and it's just timeless. It doesn't change. It's a really timeless jacket, and it just is situated in this really great spot of being, it's not too flashy, it's not in your face, but it's cool, it's timeless, it's just great, and it goes with so much. I think it's absolutely a fantastic jacket. There was another user who commented when I wrote out the tweet that I received a question about the Harrington jacket. Someone said, my Barracuda G9 is one of my favorite jackets I own. Harrington is an all-time great casual jacket, in my opinion. I completely agree with this statement. And so he says, my Barracuda G9. So that's the creme de la creme. That is the original. That's the original Harrington jacket. Allegedly, there's like some dispute between some other company that claims that they created it, but this is, I'm pretty sure, generally accepted as the original. And Barracuda, it's an English company, and the G9 is this is the quintessential Harrington jacket. They're pretty expensive. They're, I think, $400. And if I was to buy a Barracuda G9, because the Harrington jackets I have are not Barracudas. One is a vintage Lacoste from, I think, probably the 80s. And I think the 80s, yeah. And the red one is, I got it at a thrift store, and I think it was never worn, honestly. I got it just for like pennies, essentially, the red one. But if I was to buy a Barracuda G9, I think I'd buy a green one. I think I'd buy the dark green because it would go with so much. Because the red is pretty flashy. You know, the khaki is understated, but then you can't really wear with khakis because you look like a park ranger, or you're going on a safari, or if it's too close, you know, it kind of looks like the khaki is almost the same color. It's like, ugh, gosh, I think I'd rather look like the park ranger. You know, I'd rather look like I'm going on a safari, because at least it would be intentional. But when it's too close and doesn't really match, it just looks very unintentional. So I think I'd do a dark green if I did the G9 personally, because it's more understated than the red. Because even though the jacket itself is understated, red is a more flashy color. It just is. But the green it's more understated. There's a sense of seriousness with it. It's almost like, it's also like a little ode to utilitarianism as well. And I'm not saying that like this deep philosophical thing, but it's kind of, it just feels utilitarian because of the green. It's kind of like almost like an army green sort of color, almost. There is that color that you can get. But it also goes with a lot, and it's not like you're buying some army surplus thing. It's just a darker green, sort of serious, serious isn't the right word. I'm having a hard time coming up with the right word, but it's even more, it's understated, but it goes with a lot. Where you can wear it with khakis, with chinos, khaki colored chinos, and it will go with even more. It would situate right in that spot in between the red and my khaki. And so I think I would buy the green one. I guess the question too about the Barracuda G9 is, someone could ask, is it worth it to get it? Because it's $400. I think it's $400. It's a pretty expensive jacket. It's expensive for a casual jacket. I'm sure they're made in England. Actually, I know they're made in England. I'm 99% sure they're made in England. So it's great jacket. It's high quality. You're going to buy this thing. I'm sure you'll have it your entire life, honestly. Is it worth it? I mean, I would buy one. I would like to buy one. It's just not one of the things that's on the absolute top of my list, because I already have two other ones that I like quite a bit. I think that, because this is a good question, is it worth it to buy it? I would say I would like to buy one day, but I haven't bought one yet. And so because I haven't bought one yet, it's clear that I obviously don't think it's like imperative to buy it. It's not like you need to buy the original and you have to have the original. I think there are certain things where you do have to have the bona fide thing. And I think it's because anywhere else doesn't, if you buy it from somewhere else, it's not going to have the thing that you are trying to buy. Unlined collars are a good example. I'm always talking about unlined collars. the only companies that make unlined collars are companies which charge more for their shirts because they're usually made in the USA, they're custom made, stuff like that. I think Brooks Brothers is the cheapest you could get an unlined collar for on a sale for $70. But no place else just makes them. All of the other companies are going to be more than $70. If there is one that is less than $70, I'm unaware of it. And so there really isn't an option. You have to get it from one of those companies because nobody else makes it. But there were other companies that made Harrington jackets, not just Barracuda. And so I have the ones that I have are not Barracuda, and they look great, I think. I don't think anybody's looking at them and being like, oh, it's a pretty nice Harrington jacket, but it's not actually the Barracuda G9. I don't think anybody's saying that. So I think they look great. I think it's totally, you can get one that isn't the original, the official original, and look great. But I'd like to get an official original as well because they're obviously great. They're obviously a high quality jacket. And I do think that even though it's not imperative to get it, I think that for me, and everybody chooses different things. Everybody has this about different stuff. Everybody feels this about different stuff. This is just my opinion. When there is something that is so iconic and something that is so, a company is so responsible for it, or it is really there's just something so iconic, there is something to buying the original. I think there's something to it for yourself, or for me sometimes. It's kind of like, yeah, this is a Harrington thing. It's a Harrington jacket, Barracuda G9. That's the one. It'd be cool to have the official, the bona fide one, the real deal, and I think there is something to that, and that's why I'd like to buy one. I don't think there's nothing to that. I kind of feel that way to a lesser extent with the button flap pocket, the flat pocket on the OCBD. I've never had one custom made. When I've had shirts custom made, I've never asked for the flat pocket with a button because if I'm going to get the flat pocket, I kind of want to buy it from J Press. It's kind of their thing. It's associated with J Press to such a degree that it feels most appropriate for me to get it from J Press. It's like I want to get it from J Press. And the other companies I'm sure make it awesome, but there's just something about it. It's the J Press thing. I want to get it from J Press. And I would say that there's something to that with the Barracuda G9 as well. That is the original, and so obviously it's the creme de la creme. And so if someone said, hey, I've got infinite money, should I buy the Barracuda G9 or something else? I'd say, yeah, buy the Barracuda G9. Someone gave me, here's $400, go buy a Harrington jacket. I'd be ordering that Barracuda G9 green one for sure. But I don't think it's imperative. You can buy other ones that look just great and that are going to be great jackets that aren't going to be $400. So yeah, in closing on that point, I don't think it's, you don't need to buy the $400 G9 Barracuda in order to have a Harrington jacket that you love and looks great. I don't think you need to. I think it's great to do so because it is the core. It is it's the creme de la creme, but you don't need to. And I think that this gets into a bigger discussion about what is the purpose of clothing? What is the purpose of different articles of clothing? Well, you are wearing them, and other people see them, and it says something about yourself, and it says something about how you understand the world, and it says something about your beliefs about the world in many ways. But also, even if nobody sees you and only you see yourself, there's also a purpose to that as well. It's not just about what other people say or what other people see or what other people think. There's a purpose that is deeper even than that, where it's about, even if you don't see anybody, if you're all alone in your house, about dressing with intentionality and dressing with a purpose. It's in not just looking like a beast, There is also a purpose there too that is, I guess you could call that hidden, because these are lots of layers, because it's not hidden because you see it and it is clear to the world essentially that even if no one sees you, you're wearing this shirt, these pants, or this jacket. And so I guess it's not hidden but people are not seeing it. But there's even a layer underneath that where it is hidden, where it's not even perhaps seen or even understandable, but there's still a purpose to it, like a ideological or philosophical purpose to it. And it's hard to explain this. I know it's getting very trippy, really, or getting into that, but there really are all these layers. I really do believe in all these layers about aesthetics and stuff. But it's kind of taking us on a very long road, and this will turn into a 14-hour episode. But I would say that it's awesome to get the Barracuda G9, but you can comfortably get other Harrington jackets that are going to look awesome, and they're going to feel great. They're going to fit this great room. It's going to be part of this great room, even if you can't afford that original $400 Barracuda G9. So yeah, in conclusion, I would say that I think they're great. I wear mine often. They are timeless. They are cool. They are understated. They're not in your face. They are, they're awesome. I think they're a great jacket that occupies a unique space, and it's another room in your house that it's a specific jacket for a specific time, and to wear the appropriate clothes for the appropriate time is there's a real purpose to it, and it's filling out the male wardrobe, and I think that it's a great jacket. So that'll do it for that question, and I hope everybody enjoyed this. And yeah, if you've got a question, got an idea, anything that you want me to talk on or whatever, just shoot it on my way. You can comment on my Twitter or send me a Curious Cat. I hate saying that word. It's so weird. You can do it anonymously. The link's on my Twitter as well. And that'll do it. And have a great day. Thanks for listening.